Welcome to a very, very special episode of Accident Sportswashing, the very last episode of 2022. Just a little round of applause for ourselves real quick for making it this far.
Yes, sir.
But episode 16, I want to say, and we have one returning guest and one new guest. Ryan, the GOAT, back on the pod.
Yo.
God, why the fuck do you guys always just say yo? Like, just say something. I think
I can't come. I'm
X is the only one who's
I'm
like
the least social person on
Jesus
planet. Like in
Christ.
terms of just socializing, I'm just not good at this. I'm terrible at it.
And then another returning guest. I think this is our first white woman on the podcast. We're all here for inclusion.
Let's go.
Maddie, the GOAT.
Yay! Hi.
God, yeah, so do you want to just hop right into it, Josh, like always?
Let's go into it.
Yeah.
So the first game that I talk about, the Falcons losing to the Ravens, right? 1917.
That would, like, once again, it's really just a disgusting brand of football. Like,
I can't watch this Ravens team without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, like, if they don't throw the goddamn Brinks truck at them, like 5 of them, they deserve to rot in shit.
Like, even, like, with Lamar Jackson, it was kind of hard to watch the Ravens sometimes because they just don't have anything else around him.
It just shows you how fucking good he is.
Yeah. How are they 10-5, man? That's since
they can win the division if they win next week, and if the Bengals win. Even if the Bengals lose, they beat them earlier in the season, and so they're only a game back.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So if they beat the Bengals in week 17, week 18, assuming they win in week 17, they win the division, which is fucking insane considering, again, injuries to Lamar. And then even with Lamar, as you mentioned, like Lamar, it's a one-man show. It's Lamar Jackson and praying that the other team doesn't score.
I think an 8th grade flag football team could probably do better.
Honestly, I mean, I'd like to see it. I would like to see it.
And, the Ravens are just bad. That's pretty much it. But moving on.
Next up.
You got the Buffalo-Chicago game. The way motherfuckers were tweeting about this, Maddie, you might. Well, you know what? Let's save this for a little later, so Maddie gets
I'm
argued.
back.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't let my sister in.
Oh no, you're fine. But the way motherfuckers were tweeting about this game, I'm like, yo, this must be a duel. Justin Fields is balling out. And then I look at the final score, 35-13. Like, what the fuck? This wasn't even close.
I wish I could
No, you could go.
Sorry. I wish I could give a full input on the game, but I work retail, and this was the Christmas Eve game.
Oh yeah.
And so I was so fucked over at working, but it's just, I don't know. I have so much yet so little to say about the Bears. I feel very hopeless at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Justin Fields he's definitely our guy. It's just, it sucks to see what gets put on the field and what gets thrown out around him.
Yeah. Like we've been
he has no one. He has fucking no one.
At all.
And then you have these fucking geniuses that just stare at the box scores and they will think that's what it is. And
yeah, like we've been saying all year, we know the Bears are gonna lose, but as long as they're not losing because of Justin Fields, they're heading in somewhat of the right direction. But as long as Justin Fields is playing well,
I think that's low key the best scenario for them, just because they need better draft picks and to get better players.
You know who would be really good on this offensive line though? Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas
would be nice,
yes.
But Andrew Thomas in general is just really damn good.
But
every single week I go into the Bears game, I sit down and I watch it, and I'm all I want is to lose because I want the draft pick, but I need Justin Fields to just ball out.
Oh, that was me as a Knicks fan a couple years ago.
That's usually what happens every single week.
Yeah.
So the agenda lives on, and then the tank lives on. So the Bears are losing. However, I am not losing as a Bears fan.
Yeah, but moving on, I don't know what the fuck happened in this game. The Saints over the Browns 17-10. How did the passing leader only throw 135 yards? It was the rapist.
God, Watson was so bad.
Yeah, I hope he stays this way. This is exactly what they fucking get. This is
I tuned on Red Zone, and like they showed the last 2 drives, and Watson was like all right until it came to until they got like really close to goal line, and he just completely sold every single time.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
yeah,
definitely
Ryan.
happy about
yeah,
this.
the former Browns fan. You got lucky because in the offseason, everybody was like, "Oh shit, the Browns are gonna be better," and then you go into a Giants game, and you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna go into the season not expecting shit," and then you kind of got the best end of the stick here. Best.
Oh yeah, I lucked the fuck out, and I mean, look, it sucks because like I really like Nick Chubb. I love Nick Chubb, and it sucks to see that like he's still like I don't know how to put this. It's like they should not be passing the ball 31 times in that weather. I know that, and based on watching that team in previous years, there were games like this. I mean, there's this game against the Eagles where they could not fucking pass the ball. The weather was awful. And they had to run the fuck out of the football. I'm sorry, but you can't have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and you're passing the ball 31 times.
Especially with the quarterback that's so out of sync. Like it's not like he was Houston Watson right now. No, I haven't played in several months. I'm still getting my footing, so.
Yeah. And look, I understand that he's going to struggle early on, and as you mentioned, he's out of sync. But I can't say I don't derive any pleasure in watching.
Oh yeah, I think we all do.
Watson this year.
I think we all do. And another big thing, this win keeps the Saints in contention for the NFC South title. I just want to say that. Just shows you how
that division is so bad.
Yeah, so they play the Eagles. So I mean, they'll probably lose this week against the Eagles. But they have the Eagles and Panthers. But if they beat the Eagles and they beat the Panthers, and I think if Tampa loses both of their games, because they lost to Tampa both times. So if Tampa loses out and they win out, I think they make it, which is fucking hilarious. I don't know how the tiebreaker would work between them and Carolina.
I think this is like record-wise, this might be the worst division in recent memory, even worse than the NFC East in 2020.
At least you had the excuse of a COVID season.
But it's also like Washington was like what 7 and 9, I think it was when they made the playoffs, and then we have like 3 separate teams here that are like 6 and 9. Yeah, for the NFC.
Let's not think about that anymore. Moving on, we had the fucking idiots in Seattle warming up. Well, in Kansas City, the Seahawks players warming up shirtless, only to get bitch slapped, 24-10. Like that was just so
like
stupid.
That was what was it? That stupid Giants
don't shush. Don't even bring it up.
Censor that.
Don't even bring that up, man. I saw that. I was so pissed. I saw that on Twitter. But I don't know. Like, what was the point of that? Everybody knows you guys are in shape. The fuck? Like, there was no point in that. You're not hard. Like, bro.
Also, Geno Smith has been, I guess, declining. I mean, it's kind of expected, but he hasn't been performing to the level that we've seen near the beginning of the season. There's I think there's a stat, I'm not sure where exactly it was, where it's like a large chunk of his turnover-worthy plays have come from this stretch of weeks, like these last few weeks. I think that's saying a lot about, I guess, defense is just adjusting to the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think they're just getting more. Pete Carroll's not tricking niggas anymore. He had another half season, and then niggas finally caught up.
I think that's just the Seahawks thing and not a Russell Wilson thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes. Mahomes is Mahomes. Like every week, Mahomes is Mahomes. Shout out to Kenneth Walker dropping 107. That was good, even though KFC has shitty defense. Whatever. Then moving on, I'd rather not talk about this game. It really pisses me off. But Minnesota over Giants.
Oh my god, fuck the Vikings, man. Like I'm so sick and tired. Like,
I want to. There was a stat that I'm gonna find in a second, and it pissed me the fuck off. But I mean, they're just the Vikings aren't gonna win in the playoffs. I can tell you that right now.
TJ Hawkinson could go fuck himself. I actually can't fucking stand the guy anymore. I mean, that catch he made for that second touchdown. Like, fucking explain. Like, I'm sorry. He's not making that catch in any other fucking situation, man.
Like, even literally, like, too. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
The Giant, like, the New York sports teams, it's literally only us. Like, I'm not even joking. The Knicks, like, it's always some bullshit. Like, this is so off topic, but Georges Niang hasn't seen drop coverage in college. But this nigga had drop coverage playing against him the other day. brick like 5 threes, but against us on Christmas Day, he wants like, bro.
It's always the New York curse, man. Like we're just a cursed city at this point.
But yeah, I mean, Danny played good. I mean, like, there's obviously different things, little minor tweaks to the game that you wish you could play a little better. But overall, you played a decent game. Jones had 334. Oh yeah, so this is the stat. So lead changing field goals, 60 plus yard field goals in the final 2 minutes of a game since 2016. Against the Giants, teams are 3 for 3. Against all other teams are 2 for 15. Like,
Greg Joseph's career long was 55 yards last year, and then he drilled a 60-yarder. Like, fuck him, bro.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I saw them lining up. I'm like, okay, they're gonna punt, and then I saw them go out the field goal. I'm like, oh, okay, overtime. It's still gonna be overtime, and then it's just like I was just frozen, man. I don't want to talk about this.
This is like a weird question for y'all, but did you hear or did you see any tweets regarding Saquon shouldn't have scored a touchdown that quickly? Similar to like that.
I didn't see that. I mean, you should. I mean, no, because it's not like the defense. Like the defense has been decent. Was decent this game, and it's not like the defense didn't do their job. You shouldn't be hitting a 61-yard field goal. So yeah. I'm not gonna complain about Saquon scoring.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You also have to, like, there's also that factor of you have to get in the end zone at that point. Like you have no, like the time's waning down. Like you have no idea if you're going to get another shot at the end zone.
Exactly. Like something could happen. You never know.
Right. Like I can't sit back and say like, oh, the Giants expected that they weren't going to give up a 61-yard field goal. Like I think that's a fair way to coach as an offense and to look at it as an offensive player of like, hey, we can't worry if like we lose on a game on a 61-yard field goal. We might not even be positioned to lose on a 61-yard field goal if I don't score here. So yeah.
But I'm moving on. Then you have I honestly do kind of feel bad for them now. The Patriots falling to Cincy 22-18.
Dude, this was an insane game.
Yeah, like Ramondre Stevenson has been that dude all fucking season. The one guy
puts, like, a disaster class in the
and just absolutely shits the fucking bed. It's just sad. I mean, the Bengals, like, I feel like the Bengals are, like, they're a good team, but they consistently get extremely lucky. And it's no knock on them. Yeah. You get lucky, you're going to take it. But they extremely just find this shit just falling into their lap.
I mean, to be fair, they did have that crazy-ass fumble that Jamar Chase had right before Stevenson got his own fumble.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of like just balances out two fluky situations, I guess. But just the entire I remember watching that game. I tuned out. I was like on Red Zone, tuned out. They never showed like any clips of the game up until that like crazy ass touchdown they had. It was where like one of the receivers like catches it and like hands it off to the other receiver and he scores the touchdown. Like, okay, something weird is happening.
Yeah.
And they just like gradually started to come back and then they kind of just choked it a bit.
Yeah. But after
do you think the Bengals would go far in the playoffs though?
I think they can. I think
it's definitely possible. Like,
yeah, like I mean, Joe Burrow. I mean, he's like one of those big time players, so I really feel like he can. He'll be able to.
Yeah.
But moving on, then you have Detroit, one of the hottest teams in NFL, giving up two career rushing days to the Carolina Panthers, who are now also still very much in contention for the NFC South. At 6-9.
I can't stand this division.
And they play the Buccaneers and the Saints. So if they win out, they will be going to the playoffs with starting quarterbacks of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and PJ Walker this season. I just
awful core of just players.
Just want to spread that in the air real quick. Tom Brady is not him. I just want to say that. But in regards to this game, the Lions, their defense got exposed. Even though Goff was just throwing the fucking rock, he had 355. Their offense finally kind of slipped up a little bit, and that Carolina just took advantage of their defense because we saw earlier in the season their offense is good, but their defense is so fucking bad. So
them and the I think it was the Seahawks early in the season had some of the worst defenses of all time. Like just when it came to just the start of the season. And the Seahawks got a little bit better, but that Vikings defense is still not good.
yeah,
Even with they have some good pieces, but still just like that unit as a whole is awful.
I mean, there's nothing much to say about that game. I didn't really pay attention. Did you guys pay any attention to this? Because I really didn't.
I didn't really pay attention to this game. I was like, I'd probably just tune it out.
Yeah, but then moving on after that, like we were saying earlier, my bad, Tennessee, Houston, yeah, the AFC South. Also, hold on. First of all, because we're not going to talk about this, because we were trying to talk about the game last week. Fuck the Athletic. What are the chances that we both drop a feature on the Jaguars on the same fucking day, 30 minutes apart?
Dude, like they stole your whole flow, man.
No, that was actually insane timing. It wasn't even that far in terms of like
so
actual hours.
Pissed. I was so pissed. Maddie put so much of her hard-earned time just editing this shit. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I think it looks good. And then 30 minutes later, I get an Athletic notification. Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, there's no way. It reads.
Oh, wait, are you serious?
Yes.
Are you for real?
I'm so serious. Yo, the Athletic are my biggest ops. The Athletic are my ops, bro.
Dude, I get mad when like someone from like NJ.com writes about a player on the Yankees that I wrote about. Like there would be a hole in my computer if that happened. I'm not even joking. Like and we were talking about like how bad divisions were as well. Like, dude, this fucking division stinks. The AFC South is
like
garbage.
The Jags
this
are
might be worse than the NFC South.
No, because I would say at least the Jags have a future.
No, I mean like this year, not talking
about this year. Yeah, this year for sure. Yeah. But even then, I feel like if you match them all up, I'm taking the AFC South just because of like if you made like an all-star team, I'm taking AFC South. You have Derrick Henry, you have Trevor Lawrence, so.
But it's kind of pitiful. Like it's just sad. It's sad football.
Tennessee losing to Houston is just hilarious. Letting Davis Mills beat you is just hilarious. And I just want to talk about all the hilarious quarterbacking decisions that have been made this year. With Derek Carr getting benched. Well, not really benched. Well, kind of benched, but they just don't want his contract anymore. Like, Mills getting benched. That was random. Like, there's so many quarterbacks who should not be playing. Joshua Dobbs. Like, what the fuck is going on this year, man? The quarterback market is so fucked up.
They're just fucking around at this point.
I mean, there's not really much to say. Like, Tennessee just stinks, and they're finally getting exposed. The one man I do feel bad for is Mike Vrabel, because he's like, without him, they would not have made the playoffs any of these years. I can definitely.
It's kind of a miracle that he's still like stuck around on us. Like,
I need him to dip the fuck out.
Lot of a roster they have.
Yeah, but that's all that. But yeah, then you have San Francisco over Washington, 37-20. I don't think the score reflects how. I mean, once Carson Wentz got in, he's not the best, obviously, but I'm so glad people finally have a reason to stop writing Taylor Heineke. You always, when they were playing the Giants, you're like, Heineke.
Oh,
and
dude,
it's just
the fucking Heineke sucking all. Like, dude, they were calling like this miracle. Like, oh, he just has that magic. He's a fucking mediocre quarterback on a mediocre.
No, he's not even mediocre.
Like,
he's
what?
bad. Like,
well,
he's not.
Yeah, he's bad.
It was so frustrating. So I'm glad he got benched.
Team. Like, dude. They're treating him like they're treating him as if he's some guy who fucking walked in.
Like they acted like he was Kurt Warner. Like he was fucking Kurt Warner. Like
bro.
If he was half decent, okay, I get it. You want to store it, but he wasn't even good. Like Jesus.
They were romanticizing a playoff game they fucking lost.
Yeah, but and they didn't even. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
He competed with Tom Brady.
No, he didn't. He got fucking railed by 40-year-old Tom Brady.
Like and you know what? No, I'm gonna sound like a hater because Heineke. It's not like Heineke. Like
he's a piece.
Glad.
He's not even a good person. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Man. He fucking sucks. Fuck the guy.
Wait, he's a bad person?
Yes,
me, please.
Is he like a huge MAGA guy? Like massive.
Yeah, I'm pretty
MAGA?
sure. Yeah.
Like he had those blue. I think it was those Blue Lives Matters tweets like a while ago. I think.
Yeah.
Either that or it was like something.
Yeah, he had a bunch of pro-Trump tweets. Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, like he's like a bunch of pro-Trump and stuff, and like he liked anti-black stuff or stuff against like the people who kneeled, but So that's why I always like Carson Wentz a little more, But just getting back to the game. I mean, Carson should have been the starting quarterback, as whenever he's healthy. He's not that good. You know, I would suggest letting Sam Howell cook, but they're still kind of in playoff contention, so I get it. But I think they played kind of decent after Wentz came in. But then yeah, Purdy kept doing his thing. Kittle's finally not getting treated like a fullback anymore.
I still can't believe they had that vision of him being like a blocking tight end.
Yeah, like
it's like you have this generational tight end who could like do literally everything. You're like, yeah, let's make him a blocking tight end. Like, what's the rationale in that, man?
I mean, I think it was more at first. Well, I mean, with Lance, just to give him protection, which I understand. But you do want to use one of your top weapons, but at the same time, you want to make sure your quarterback is safe. He's effective. But when you have fucking Jimmy G, who knows how to handle a pocket, why the fuck is he sitting there? One of the most dangerous weapons in the NFL. Why is he blocking for Jimmy G, who's a veteran, who's played in big moments before and has a decent pocket presence? Doesn't make sense.
And he's not even like, you know, those like big time throwers.
Exactly.
He's kind of like a dink and dunk kind of guy.
Exactly what Kittle should be used for.
It makes even less sense.
Exactly. But moving on. Philly over Dallas. I mean, Dallas over Philly. I don't give a fuck. This just proves to me that Dallas aren't them, bro. Like, Dak, including this week, like, Dak fucking stinks. Like, he doesn't stink.
He's been awful the last 2 weeks. Some
like,
of the turnovers.
Him and Derek, he's been worse than Derek Carr. Like, this might be the first actual case of reverse racism in the NFL. Because, yo, Dak is stink. Like, bro. And this game worked for me. Because, one, Philly defense looks like shit. Two, Dallas, you only beating them by 6, frauds. And three, Jalen Hurts, this is showing that they don't need Jalen Hurts to succeed. They can have a half-decent quarterback, an average quarterback, and still succeed. Because Minshew was an average, but he still put up 34 with his offense. So I win. Bro. Like,
yeah, this definitely hurts MVP case. Mainly because it's like, if Minshew could do really damn good with the supporting cast, and of course Hurts could do even better, or, you know, just as
hopefully,
good.
Yeah.
I also think the case was over the second Patrick Mahomes decided that weird stretch he had last year was just an aberration. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm taking
such a weird stretch of football from Mahomes, though.
Right.
Like that 2021 stretch.
It was weird, but like I think people are having voter fatigue or just fatigue of Patrick Mahomes. Like, Hurts was
kind of the same thing with
not
Jokic.
better than Patrick Mahomes this year. I'm sorry.
Exactly, kind of the same thing with Jokic. Like, Jokic is clear and far the best player in the NBA, but people are just trying to introduce different players because they're tired of seeing Jokic win MVP when he is easily the best player.
If Jokic becomes the second player in history to win back-to-back MVPs, that's going to be insane.
Yeah, but
it's just like. Oh wait, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say moving on because But moving on, probably. I mean, I get this game. This is the one game I'll excuse being a shitty Sunday night matchup because of the immaculate reception. Rip Franco Harris, by the way. Rip Franco Harris. But I mean, yeah, this game was. I feel like it was a little better than the score represents 13-10, but it was still the 2022 Vegas, 22 Raiders versus the 2022 Steelers. It was just a game. You know, it happened.
Yeah.
Had a couple exciting moments, but it was a game.
Yeah. What do you think of the Derek Carr situation, though?
I mean, I think they're just trying to cut ties with him. And I don't think that's fair to him. He hasn't been the best, but it's not like he's been bad. He hasn't been that bad. He's poured his heart and soul into this team. And he's not that bad of a quarterback. Right? He's still a league average quarterback. So I could definitely see him doing good things everywhere else. But I still can't believe, what's the point, evaluating your young guys when, the quarterbacks, Jared fucking Stidham, and some random guy I've never even heard of. Let me see what his name is. Do you remember his name?
I don't follow the Raiders too closely, so I have no idea what their rotation quarterbacks are.
This situation just tells me we need an FBI investigation on the NFL because Josh McDaniels having a job makes no sense. How the fuck did he get a job?
He got fired.
White and Belichick, because
it's like
the Belichick coaching tree is so bad.
Right, we've seen him fail we've seen him fail before. So like I'm just curious, like what make the Raiders think, okay, I'm not saying Derek Carr is like some elite quarterback, but I would rather commit to Derek Carr than Josh McDaniels any day of the fucking week. It's not even close. Like I have a chance of maybe he gives me a season where I go again to the playoffs and maybe I get a playoff win, whatever it may be. Like I'm what is the Raiders' future long term? What is their outlook?
I don't know, man.
Right? Like they're not in a position to draft a quarterback right now in terms of just their like where their record is. Like they weren't bad enough this year to get, you know, one of the top 3 guys or maybe the top 2 guys. Maybe they'll get the third, maybe, you know, QB3, QB4. But at that point, I mean, are you just not in the same position as you were ceiling wise with Derek Carr? Like, you know, it feels weird. I really, really, really don't know what they're going to do. And that's kind of the worst position to be in as an NFL franchise. You don't have like you're continuously missing the playoffs, but never really terrible.
Exactly.
You just got out of
mediocrity
a quarterback situation.
in every sport besides maybe soccer.
I think baseball
football.
You can live with mediocrity because you know it happens every once in a while. You have a mediocre team winning a World Series.
But besides that, yeah, like with but even then, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like an 81-81 team,
right?
Or like a team that like is always on the verge of making the wild card, but they never make it. It's like one of those teams, or maybe like a Brewers. Like they're never really they're not really gonna contend, but they're always gonna be in playoff contention. So like that kind of mediocrity in any other sport with like besides soccer, where you can just buy players. But like it just sucks because you can't draft anybody that good unless you have an amazing scouting department, and there's no reason to really get the owner to give you the money to sign players. So you're just stuck in this weird limbo, where it's better just instead of kind of cling on to hope you can magically make this run, just start all over. You know, you realize you fucked up with McDaniels, probably trading for Adams because that was a lose-lose trade, honestly. But moving on. First of all I wanted to preface this like I really hope Tua is okay. I honestly I hope he takes at least like a year off because 3 concussions in 2 months is very scary.
It's like I know I should be laughing, but it's like 3 concussions in a season is insane, especially for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Not like some tackle or offensive lineman.
It's such a sad situation, honestly, like to look at. Like his brain is like to like not sound insensitive, he's just like cooked. Like his brain has to be cooked at this point.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we talked about this before with the Dolphins. It's just like you have to be you can't as an like this is going to be a stay on the organization for a while. You know, it doesn't matter. Like we're not even just talking about on the field. Like as a person, how is he going to be effective for the rest of his life after this? That's what's
and especially with
like,
all the shit that just happened this past season with Brady and the Sean Payton shit. You have to really look at removing Stephen Ross as owner because I'm not saying the NFL is the most. NFL isn't the most upstanding organization, but if you really want to at least do some decent virtue signaling, show that we don't like the way this team is being run. And I didn't even bring up the Flores shit. We don't like the way this team is being run, and there's a lot of things that have happened connected to this team in the past 12, 18 months that just don't want to represent who we are. But moving on to the game.
Such a bad situation.
Green Bay hopping right back into the oh yeah, sorry, Maddie.
No, I was just gonna throw in like one more thing about Tua. You would just think like after how like poorly his other the concussion situation was handled earlier in the season, you would think they would have handled this one a lot better.
Exactly.
Like you would think they would have handled his health a lot better after he got hit in the first half, and they didn't. I don't understand what goes on with the Dolphins. I don't understand why it's such a shit show, but it's awful.
I mean,
yeah.
It's... But just getting into the game, like I said, the Packers jumped right back into playoff contention. Washington keeps faltering. Maddie thought she was gonna get a year off of seeing Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, but that strong possibility he'll be right back.
I want to kill myself.
God, but yeah, I mean Green Bay is. I feel like they've been slowly improving over the season, getting to mesh. I still don't think they'll get anywhere near a Super Bowl, But if they do add,
But, like having Lazard and Watson,
yeah,
like slowly.
only if they had another
elite
elite wide receiver to be a true wide receiver one. This
and
offense
after
might be really
Devontae
good.
was still there, man. Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, nothing much about this game. Just pray for Tua. Moving on. Why the fuck did wait? Hold on. How the fuck did Baker Mayfield put up? How did the Rams put up 51 points, but Baker only had 230 passing yards? That's my
because they had like 3 pick sixes, man.
You're right.
Yeah, they had a lot of short field, and I just want to say, Baker Mayfield's, giving me some memorable moments that I can look back on with the Rams, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like,
I was in like the gnarliest food coma because I ate a huge breakfast. Watching the Nickelodeon version of the game, that was
it was
so
amazing.
confused.
I don't care.
Like my brain was going everywhere. Like I was so.
The Nickelodeon broadcast is like one of the best things to happen to football, and I'm so serious. I think it's amazing. I love it so much.
Patrick clip when fucking Russell Wilson.
Yo, yeah, I saw that clip. That was fucking
that shit
hilarious.
is so good.
I think it's a great way to really like introduce football to kids. Like honestly, I think it's awesome to like just grow the audience, and it's a fun way to do it. So I'm very pro Nickelodeon broadcast.
I also
even
just
if it's
like how
goofy.
they like explain certain things about football, like, oh, this is how it works, or this how this works. It's
and
like,
I love
very
Nate Burleson. Nate Burleson is gonna do great things for many years, and I love that.
Yeah.
Former players
100%.
usually find it hard to transition into analyst roles, but he just embraced it and he's just running with it.
I just want to say too, like it's really I saw this tweet where it's like there are gonna be kids who think that like Baker Mayfield's like Joe Montana, and honestly that's a great thing for me. Honestly, like that's one of the best ways from it.
And I just want to say, big ol' fuck you to Nathaniel Hackett. Shit. Oh, fucking Domino's. All right, hold on. There's a Domino's ad. All right, fuck you, Domino's.
What the fuck? What is going on?
Wait, what's going on?
Nah. Hey, goodbye. Nah. All right. God, why the fuck would there be a Domino's ad? Like they set me up. That reminds me of your tweet, Maddie, about the Domino's.
I love Domino's. I'm gonna be for real.
Shout out Papa John's.
Papa John's.
Fuck you.
Papa John's
Jesus
is alright.
Christ.
Jalen
Daniels deserves better than Papa John.
Yes. What he do for like what 540 yards?
550 yards,
Jesus.
and most of those were in the second half. He fucking sucked in the first half.
If you give me Papa John's pepperoni pizza and a side of buffalo sauce after I throw 540 yards, I'll be the happiest person on planet fucking Earth.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro, absolutely not.
You have to understand, he was probably a
honestly,
bit drunk too, though. So.
Yeah, you also have to understand, man. Like, I don't know. There's just something about a Papa John's pizza.
Yeah, I'm taking
when
Papa
you're
John's
eating
over
a whole
Domino's
lot.
for sure. I'm taking Papa John's over Domino's.
I think it's Domino's.
No, listen.
I'm taking Pizza Hut overall, though. I just want to let that be known. Pizza Hut.
I would do.
Pizza Hut wings are insane.
Okay, but who got a Kendrick needle drop?
What?
Kendrick Lamar and Good Kid, Mad City reference Domino's.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Oh, I would do Domino's first, Pizza Hut wings, and then Pizza Hut pizza.
That's fair.
Yeah,
and
it's an important distinction to make. The wings are elite.
Right. Enough pizza talk. When we all know. I hate how there's 3 New Yorkers here who can go get real pizza. Instead, we're talking about chain pizza.
I'm gonna end up, dude. If we keep talking about this, I'm getting chain pizza. Like I'm dying right now.
Dude, I'm starving.
Already had dinner, but now I'm like hungry again.
I'm gonna go get a Red Bull. I need a Red Bull too.
We have Tampa over Arizona. Why the fuck did they go to overtime? Going to overtime against the fucking Trace McSorley led Cardinals should be a sin punishable by death.
Trace McSorley didn't even do good. He had an interception and 2 fumbles lost, and they still somehow made this close.
Like it's
with Kingsbury coaching as well. It's like
it's despicable that one of these NFC South teams is gonna make it to the playoffs. None of them deserve it in the slightest. It's horrible. Like at all.
It's so bad. Like how is this even like?
Yeah, this is gonna be my no game of the week.
Yeah. You're not talking about this game.
But
everyone involved should have to like sit back and they should just be told off, shamed, hang their head in shame. No one the Bucs shouldn't celebrate winning that game.
They should be forced to watch Broncos highlights. Broncos offensive highlights.
Yeah.
Okay, but like that Broncos game was so miserable, man.
Yeah, it was sad. But moving on, then on Monday you had the Chargers, absolutely whooping Indy, and Jeff Saturday showing why he isn't an NFL coach, and Nick Foles showing
He's
that
a
he's
Nepo
not
coach.
good anymore. Like, Jesus Christ,
If Nick Foles throws for more than one touchdown on Sunday, I'm actually gonna fucking kill somebody.
He's throwing for 5. You know that.
If he goes off, I'm actually murdering someone. Like I'm gonna there's gonna be a hole through my TV. I don't care.
Obviously, there's a bitter.
Actually,
Obviously, there's been a bitter aggression. But Doug Peterson willing that motherfucker Foles to win to the Super Bowl, just absolutely insane.
It's insane. He made that quarterback's entire reputation. That Philly special, that whole playoff run, another low-key playoff run the season after once Carson he had a concussion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's had
we're not talking about that. Moving on.
All because of Doug Peterson.
No. All right, so then moving on to the game last night. Dak is not him. I don't care if you threw for 282. I don't care how bad you beat the Titans. What the fuck? And Zeke, this is your first week without Pollard in the lineup, and you rush how you got outrushed by Hassan fucking Haskins, and you want to know how much you rushed for? 40 fucking yards.
1.95 yards. A carry. That's so bad.
He got outrushed by his own teammate.
Yes.
And this teammate's not even, one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL.
Trading Zeke for Pollard was one of the best moves I've ever made. Like in all of fantasy, in all my fantasy life. Cause what the fuck, man?
The way I see it with the Cowboys is, I think that I do think Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, but his turnovers are going to cost them against a very good NFL. Like, I'm sorry, you can't turn the ball over 2 times like that against the Eagles and expect to win assuming Jalen Hurts is starting.
You can't really turn over the ball against any playoff team like that.
Right.
Like any playoff caliber team.
I mean, the NFC is a little bit soft, so I don't he can play like this against the Bucs and they'll still win. He can play like this. I would even say against the Vikings,
they're like an abnormally bad playoff team, essentially.
But I guess my point more so is if you're the Cowboys, if you're Dak Prescott, your goal has to it can't be that you have a 13-win season and then you fall and you really don't have. I'm sorry, but Dallas winning the Super Bowl would stun me. It would really stun me. And I'm not saying this as a Giants fan and a Cowboy hater, whatever it may be. Even if you look at betting odds, whatever it may be, it's a long shot, right? And at what point are the Cowboys going to stop being a long shot Super Bowl contender and actually actually break through? You were talking about the Brewers earlier, right? The Brewers at least got to a Game 7 of an NLCS, right? The Cowboys haven't gotten to an NFC Championship game. At what point are there actually going to be a team that I'm like, damn, this team could win the Super Bowl? Because every single freaking year they either miss the playoffs in a disappointing fashion, or they're a one and done, or they win, or if they're lucky, they win one playoff game like they did that one year where they got destroyed by the Rams right after. They've never felt like a legitimate Super Bowl contender. You can't put this team up against a Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen-led team. And you know what? We talk about how bad the Ravens are, right? At least I can trust Lamar Jackson just go ape shit and tear apart a defense. Can we trust Dak Prescott with how he's been playing lately?
I think
just
the
go ape
worst
shit
part
and
is
I
think the worst part is if the Cowboys lose, you can't really blame anyone but that offense because they have such an elite defense right now, especially with Micah Parsons, and they have such a good core of players to help Dak Prescott win. That if the Cowboys just get disappointed in the playoffs, it's kind of no matter what, just gonna be pointing directly at Dak Prescott and how he performs. Even last season, that kind of happened as well.
Yeah. But all right, let's just hop into predictions for this next week. Just roll right through them. First off, we got Arizona at Atlanta. Give me Atlanta.
Yeah, I'd probably go Atlanta just because they're having these Arizona's playing all these rotated quarterbacks. Cliff Kingsbury.
This is a vibes game for Ritter. He's gonna have a really good game. It'll be a nice game for him.
What about you, Maddie?
Also, JJ Watt.
Oh right, he's retiring at the end of the year.
He is.
Dude, that's my childhood right there. Also, I got a Papa John's ad on my ESPNs. So
We're talking about pizza. It's insane. Okay. It's kind of weird how JJ Watt just randomly just pops into Twitter. He's like, okay, it's my last few games.
Yeah, this team makes me want to kill myself. Bye. But I'm glad.
Honestly,
I'm glad his
way to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad his kid.
What a
got
way
to
to
see
do
a
it,
game.
man. What a career.
But then next up, Maddie, we got Chicago at Detroit.
I need the Bears to lose out.
Yeah, I mean, I would take the Lions anyway, so I guess the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lions are just in general the better team as well.
I think the Lions are the better team, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling that the Bears win this one. So picking the Bears.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like I honestly think the Bears are just so blatantly tanking now. I don't see them winning.
That's fair. I mean, this is a good time to have like a Justin Fields masterclass in the loss, where it's like, you know, both teams drop like 30+ points and the Lions win. You know, because
at least it's fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. That it should. The over under for the game is 52.5 points, which is fucking insane. So that should be a fun game.
Yeah. Moving on. Then you have Denver at Kansas City. Jesus.
Oh my god.
KC by 20 million miles. Oh, I just want to shout out.
Wait, do we put the voodoo spell on Russell Wilson again?
Maybe. I just want to shout out though. Russ's first completion last week was over the middle. I just want to say that his first completion was over the middle. Just want to say that.
And he proceeds to drop one of the worst games of his career.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're all rocking with KC here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to
this
be Kansas City.
Yeah.
Casey's favorite 12.5, man. This is just fucking.
It should be more. Then you have Miami at New England. Give me New England. You have that. Early January weather. No Tua. Give me New England.
Yeah, I'd probably go to New England here. And it's also kind of wild how Miami just went. They started off the season so well. You know, they had Tyreek being projected for 2,000 yards and Waddle 1.5K yards, and now they're at this point where they're like legitimately facing a situation where they're 500. It's definitely just straight up not looking good for them. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily all their fault, you know, Tua with his injuries and this weird dip in form that he's having. But in general, it's like kind of concerning, I guess, because they went all in just for the season potentially to end a bit underwhelming to what it looked like it was gonna, you know, end off as after the Bills game, I think it was.
Yeah. But after that,
outside the Patriots.
Yeah, and then after that you have Indy coming to New York. Please, for all love of God, win, Giants. Please. If you lose, man, I'm gonna do bad.
If we don't win this game, I'm like, again, I'm putting my head through the TV. So for my health, for like my long-term ability to continue doing podcasting and all that stuff, I'd really like for us to win this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I'm gonna get so stressed out watching this game. I feel like I'm gonna be really stressed out watching.
I'm gonna throw up.
Again. The Colts are gonna win this.
Moving on, then you have New Orleans visiting Philly. Even with Gardner Minshew, give me Philly.
Especially with how Minshew played against the Cowboys, which is a good defense. Yeah, it has to be Philly. Just like there's no way I could really think to myself that they would lose this.
Yeah, and it's not like Minshew's like a career bad quarterback or anything like that. He's a pretty okay quarterback, so I feel like there's a very good chance he goes out and has a good game.
Yeah.
Moving on, then you have Carolina traveling to Tampa. I'm not gonna. Yeah, this is my no game.
This is a no game of the week. We're not talking about this.
Nope.
This being a game that has serious divisional implications makes me sick.
Disgusting. Moving on, thankfully, oh god. What the fuck? Browns at almost called them Washington football team at the Commanders. The Commanders, I guess.
This shit stank.
Don't it?
Yeah, this is another like I don't care about this game at all. I feel so indifferent.
I mean, even can the Commanders? Yeah, I only care about this game, I guess, because the Commanders are a game and a half behind the Giants. So that's really the only reason why I would care.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
I just want Deshaun Watson to lose. That's all it is.
No, well, I want him to die. So.
Jacoby Brissett fan club.
Yeah, of course.
Jacoby Brissett fan club here. But moving on, then you have Jacksonville at Houston. I just want the article. So that means Jacksonville will probably get routed by 40 on a Davis Mills 500-yard game. But in all seriousness, give me Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'd probably go Jacksonville here. But we need to do something about the Athletic just stealing your entire article, man.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to spin on the ops.
Dude, okay,
We all do.
I fucking understand. Obviously, covering like KU sports, there's only so many outlets that will cover them, and the amount of times like my ideas are taken by someone that's actually getting fucking paid to write, I'm so pissed off.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Maddie. But moving on, then you have San Fran traveling to face the daunting Jared Stidham. So San Fran doesn't win,
God.
I'm gonna look like an idiot. So
I hope the Raiders
there's
get
no
fucking
way.
wallywalled.
There's no way the Raiders don't get blown out. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Like, they have to be blown out with a situation like this. Against that defense? Come on.
Yeah, Stidham's kind of fucked.
yeah,
Oh, God. It's gonna... I want to watch it just because I just want to see how bad it might get. And if it isn't as bad as it is, as I'm expecting, I mean, I'm kind of winning either way.
then you have
it's pretty easily San Francisco.
Then you have two teams on the decline with the Jets and Seattle both in Seattle. Give me the Jets. I like Mike White. I think their defense is more than competent to stop Geno. So yeah, give me the Jets.
I think the defense is going to be the deciding factor here. So yeah, I agree with you there. I think the Jets are going to win this.
I feel like the Seahawks are going to win this one, and the reason is, not that I think that the Jets aren't capable of handling Geno Smith, but Geno Smith's had 3 straight games that haven't looked great, and I feel like while that should be used to say, hey, maybe he's trending in the wrong direction, I think he's kind of due for a good one eventually, and I just feel like the Jets right now, I don't think they're going to be able to generate much offense. I know Mike White has, put up some monster numbers before, but in his career, he's really struggled with turnovers, so, the Seahawks could luck into a couple turnovers here and there and put themselves in good position to score. And I don't think the Jets can do anything to keep up with the Seahawks if they get it on a decent roll scoring wise.
That's fair.
I think that's fair enough.
But then moving on, you have the LA rivalry. That's not even a rivalry. Chargers Rams at. They're playing in the same fucking stadium. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to Chargers here, especially since the Chargers have more to lose if they don't win this game.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to just go all out.
Yeah.
Or I hope they will.
Then you have what used to be one of the best games all year, probably now one of the worst games. I don't know why they put this on Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. I will want to shoot my brains out by the end of this.
I don't know who's going to win this, honestly. Just like... this is going to be so bad. I might go Baltimore. Just because I think, just off like the recent trend.
Yeah, sorry, give me a second.
Of like how they're playing.
Hold on. Sorry. All right, Josh. Continue. I'm gonna mute myself. Just restart what you were saying.
Okay. I think I'd probably go Baltimore here just because like their recent trend of form and Pittsburgh just generally just being a very lackluster team. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. I don't really have a strong stance on this.
I might go with the Steelers, and the reason for that is because Mike Tomlin just has this devil magic ability to never be below 500, and I think he's going to need to win this game so that he can, they would play the Browns after, and so he would maintain his streak of never being below 500.
I don't think he could be 500, so...
Yeah, you can't be 500, so he has to win the next 2, and so because of that, I have to go with him winning. He just finds a way to get to above 500, and it's kind of insane. It's weird. Like every year,
weirdly commendable because it's like, no matter how bad the roster is, he just randomly finds a way to be 500, or at least over 500.
It's crazy. Like, dude, he's had over the last few years, he's had no Ben Roethlisberger because he got Tommy John surgery. Then he had Big Ben for 2 years when he was just a dink and dunk quarterback. Then he had this fucking group of
injured.
In
mind, the Steelers went 11-0 at one point.
Yeah, they made 2 playoff runs.
It's insane.
Yeah, 2 of those 3 years I just mentioned, they made the playoffs, and they're still if they win these next 2 games, not that they have a great shot at the playoffs because they lost to the Jets, they've lost to the Dolphins, and I think they've lost to the Patriots. I'm not sure about that. But, there's a chance that they are 3 out of 4 playoff appearances with fucking awful quarterbacks. Or at least, worst case scenario, they don't make it this year. They're above 500, and they're a close to 500 team every single. It's just, this is crazy. This is coaching mastery.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, we have a really good Monday Night Football game, actually. We have the Bills against the Bengals. And for this one,
yes, like 2 or 3
oh,
minutes.
it's going to be hard. But I might go the Bengals here just because
maybe 25.
I'm not entirely sure what I think of Josh Allen in a way, which is kind of crazy to say because, like, I think we've been conditioned to just not question Josh Allen or, like, you know, his actual ability. But he has this tendency of just throwing so many turnover-worthy plays, despite, you know, the insane big plays that he gets. He's been throwing like 2 turnover-worthy plays every single game, and I mean Joe Burrow's. I think he's proven generally to be a really, really good, you know, player as in, like making the right decisions, making the right reads, and not being overly turnover heavy. He's had like 2 turnover-worthy plays. Yeah.
I honestly think this could turn out to be one of the best games of the year. Just because, you know, Buffalo has been slipping up a little bit, and Cincinnati has shown their ability to take advantage of you know, their opponents' mishaps. So I really feel like they're I don't think Cincy is as good as they were last year, but they always find a way to win or at least compete. So, and Buffalo, like I said, Buffalo hasn't been the most consistent this year, so it's going to be a really good game. Obviously, Josh Allen can just be Josh Allen, an MVP level quarterback. But, you know, sometimes he plays like he's human. So we're going to see. It's going to be pretty interesting.
My gut is just, I think the Bengals are going to win this.
Yeah, give me the Bengals, sure.
I think the Bengals are going to win this, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to go like almost clean sweep Bengals, but I don't know. The Bengals are on a roll, as you guys mentioned. So I feel like this is not that this is their game to lose, but I think Joe Burrow's going to have that fourth quarter drive, and it's going to be a game winner.
Yeah. All right. So now moving on to some off-season Major League Baseball talk. I just want to bring it up every now and then, you know, just keep it alive, keep it in the rotation. Probably going to talk about Premier League next week. Just want to shout out my boy Erling Haaland. You know, he's that the guy. But just hopping in, I think so. I just want to bring up some bold predictions. You know, that free agency for the most part is over. Please, Correa, please sign with the Mets. So, all right. So a couple of my bold predictions. Ronald Acuna will not be a top 3 player in the NL East, even if Correa doesn't sign with the Mets. To give me Harper, give me Trey Turner, and give me Lindor, and give me Correa if Correa signs.
I have to push back on Harper because he isn't going to play half a season, which is like the big. Like I just have to take his value for that.
So if Correa signs with us, Acuna won't be a top 5 player, a top 3 player. Just because I see all these people propping him up, I see all these all steamer propping him up, but I haven't seen, like, obviously he will be healthier because he wasn't playing last season fully healthy, but I don't know if he'll ever be able to regain that explosiveness because that was a huge part of his game. And he was awful on defense last year. Yes, he will be better, but will he get back to that level? And yes, he still has the IQ, but will the base running be at such an elite level again? I think his bat will be fine, but I don't know if the other parts of the game will elevate him to like a MVP or near MVP level player. I don't know if he's going to hit 5 WAR at least this season. Another take I have for sure, I think the Rangers missed the playoffs by at least 5 games or more. Like, every piece of their rotation has questions. The one who will not be named, best pitcher in the world or top 3 in the world, but he gets injured. Like, he's been getting injured. So I don't know about that. And then, like, literally every pitcher there just has a lot of questions. And yes, they did shore out their depth a little more on the offensive side when defense. But I just can't see the Mariners regressing that hard, and I don't. And it's the Astros. Like.
Oh, I definitely see the Rangers finishing 3rd in the West. Like, honestly, obviously there's, like you said, the Astros, and then. Again, Seattle is not going to be worse this year, and I just think 3rd place is a good ceiling, I guess, for the Rangers. I don't see them.
And that's the thing. I don't see them anytime soon. For the next 3 to 4 years, I don't see them getting anywhere past that either, because it's not like the Astros getting any worse. The Mariners are just going to get better. But moving on.
Exactly.
I think
I'm not a big Rangers guy either.
Yeah, I'm glad we're all on the same page. Fuck the Rangers.
They don't move me. They don't move me.
They don't. I actually, so I'm actually like making a post right now, and I have over, under, and push. The Rangers are my under team. I really don't like their offense stinks too. They're projected to finish like 24th in runs scored per game. So any injury to any of their starting pitchers are gonna ruin any chance they have at the postseason. Yeah. I think I'd still put Boston over them at this point.
Yeah. But moving on, I want to progressively get higher. I think Stephen Kwan is getting AL MVP votes this season. Not a lot, but I think he will get at least one or two.
Yep.
Like, I'm all on the Kwan train. Jimenez was more valuable this past year, but I just see Kwan just taking another. I don't see him hitting a sophomore slump. I just see him going full throttle this next season. Him and J-Ram just running shit, and in the AL Central, and I think he will get MVP votes this season. And for my hottest take, I don't like it, but I just have a feeling this year the Padres will finally win a World Series. That's my World Series prediction for this year. Give me the Padres. It's just they have so much, like, and we say this, like, I feel like we've been saying this for 3 years in a row now. They have so much fucking talent, even though their defense is gonna be, we don't know, but that offense is just woof, and their pitching staff is still pretty good. So, I'm all in on the Padres. Give me the Padres this year for our World Series champions. All right, so Maddie or Ryan, which you guys at? Who wants to go next?
I'll defer to Maddie.
All right.
Okay, this is an agenda that I need to play out for my own sanity. Cody Bellinger resurgence is what I'm riding on this so fucking hard, you guys. You have no fucking clue.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
The thing is, I had to deal with a lot of flack from certain people in my life because of Cody Bellinger to the point where it was very, very annoying. But so it's a slightly personal, but I would love to see Cody Bellinger come back. I think getting just a new atmosphere is going to be great for Bellinger. I think his projections aren't very good. Saying that, but I mean, it's a 1-year deal, and obviously, injuring his shoulder had fucked up his swing, and so I think if Bellinger continues to work on that and just kind of put in the work, and we'll definitely have a better idea during spring training. Mm-hmm. But I definitely don't think Cody Bellinger, and I think if he performs at least at like a sufficient level, then the Cubs can really do something with that. Either the Cubs kind of crazy bullshit hot at the deadline and they can kind of ride it into a season run, who knows? Or if the Cubs still need to sell not necessarily sell, but sell something at the deadline and they fucking suck again the way they did the first half, they can trade him and to someone that is a contender. So
yeah,
I'm fine no matter what Bellinger does. It's a 1-year deal. The Cubs defensively got better when they signed Bellinger. So yeah, Bellinger resurgence. It's what I'm riding on.
Yeah. So Ryan, will you got any hot takes for us?
Yeah. So one of the big ones I want to push for this offseason that I think you're gonna love, Dre. I think the Phillies I don't know if the Phillies make the playoffs this year. I really don't buy into a lot of things they have going for them. Harper not being around for half a year and then having to DH is gonna be an issue. You're gonna have Schwarber and Castellanos in your outfield full time. I don't really buy into Castellanos for next year either. I don't think this is a team that's due to have a lot of bounce back candidates. Walker is an improvement over Gibson, but by how much?
Not much. I mean,
right. And even it's just like what I'm saying. Like they very much it's an improvement. It's an improvement.
Yeah.
He's better than Gibson, but like it's not like you're going from a team that they were a team that just made the playoffs. You know what I mean? They have Bohm at third base. He's a bad third baseman. I'm sorry. He's like I don't see it with Bohm. I don't know why people. I get it. He's improved in terms of his batting average and all that stuff. But he's still a league average hitter, and he's a horrible defender. Like, I don't buy into him at a third baseman. Stott, it doesn't really excite me offensively.
Sorry, my little brother decided to, he wanted to come talk.
He agrees. He doesn't like the Phillies either.
Yeah. We hate the Phillies. I mean, I don't like
know.
the Phillies. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna put anything out there for karma because we went 13. Oh yeah, but we went 13-4 against them this year. I was at the Canna game in Philly, and I was also at when we beat them it was 10-6 in here in City on Saturday Night Baseball. So I'm not gonna. We were 13-4 against them. You saw everybody knows the crazy shit we did against them this year, and then we lose in the wild card and they go World Series. So I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna because the amount of shit I had to eat this past year because of it, I'm not putting that there. But I respect it, but I can't support it.
I just don't think they're going to be I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs next year. I'm not 100%. I think that we might see a team. They remind me more of the Nationals than they do of the Braves, or they do of any of those World Series teams that you're like, wow, that team went on a miracle run, whatever it may be. Yeah. I don't really buy into them. And then my second big one, and this is, I know that Maddie, you were talking about an agenda push here. I have to push this because I need this might be my last year with Luis Severino on my team. I think Luis Severino, one way or another, is going to end up getting an AL Cy Young vote. I think he'll finish top 5 voting. I don't know. Don't it? I think one of the 4 big guys in that rotation are going to be bound to regress, and that's just baseball. That's just how it is. Having all 5 of your starters end up pitching extremely well or to their expectations is just ridiculous. That usually never happens. But I need this. This might be his last year as a Yankee. He's one of my favorite Yankees. He's Dominican. He is. I'm gonna lose a part of me when he signs a massive contract with some team. But I think he ends up being. Making All-Star team awesome. Kind of similar to how Nestor was last year in terms of he obviously wasn't going to get the game start. Cole was, but you could argue he was their best pitcher that year. Kind of that situation. And I do want to parlay off that Cody Bellinger thing. I think a lot of people are forgetting, worst case scenario, he's an okay, not worst case scenario, but if he's projected to be a league average hitter, he's a great defender in center field. He's going to be a really good base runner. They're expanding the bases next year. There's a 2.5 to 3 WAR player if he's somewhat competent with the bat. You know what I mean? I don't, what happened?
I'm fucking tired of people saying it was an overpay. One, it's literally a 1-year deal, and the Cubs are worth over $1 billion. They are a $1 billion franchise. Why are we, I'm sorry, these owners are fucking rich, and they should be spending money.
Yes.
If we weren't spending money, they would still be oh my God, the Cubs aren't doing jack shit. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny because also your owner, I feel like your own. I saw a chart. Your owners was one of the only owners who actually does spend. And I just want to talk about all the motherfuckers who talk about Steve Cohen. He's spending a shit ton of money, and yes, because he can. Not saying every owner has to spend like that, but more owners. There's no reason why the signings we've made this all season is more than most teams' payrolls. I think this offseason, we spent more than the Reds have spent in the past decade, which is just disgusting.
It's kind of the lack of commitment from ownership across the league is fucking depressing. I don't know, if you're a Reds fan, I feel bad for you. I don't know what to tell you. Or even a Brewers fan, they haven't made a single signing. That's a team that just fell short of making the playoffs, right? Come on. Also, if you reply with a savant screenshot saying you would never pay $17 million for something, I just don't like you. So shout out you. You know who you are. But ultimately, if people want to get upset about 1-year deals, if people want to get upset about teams spending money, sure, do you. These guys, you don't have to protect the pockets of guys who fucking have generational wealth. I'm sorry, but
no, not even generational wealth.
Exactly.
It's beyond that. And the thing that pisses me off, they all get money from the collective bargaining agreement. At least, I feel because however much they get back, add that $15 million more on that, and that should be a floor. And it's not teams don't make it. It's not decades ago where teams don't make any money. Teams are making money. We saw when the Braves, their papers got leaked. Yes, they're a very cheap and very shady organization, but it shows you owners are making profits no matter what. They're not winning World Series, but still, they are making money. They're making hundreds of millions a year. So why aren't they putting at least $100 million back into that? Maybe, so you can make more fucking money the next year.
Yeah.
It's funny because, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, some of the same people that have been on my ass about the Cubs signing Bellinger are fans of teams that haven't really fucking done much, if I'm being honest. So I'm like...
Brewers. Brewers.
like, shout out my dog, real. Carson. I know you're suffering, man.
Oh, man. Carson...
That is not my dog.
Huh? My bad. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. Oh, I don't even. It's just I so desperately need Bellinger to do well this year. It's an agenda thing. It would be great for my sanity. I love proving a certain person wrong. It's like what I live for.
I feel
at this point, as sad as it is, but I love being right.
Yes,
I love being right.
Josh, I know you have
completely understandable.
Yeah, Josh, I know you do not watch any baseball at all, but if you have anything, any baseball hot take at all, any, just off the top of your head.
I really don't. I'll watch baseball.
Well,
I watch the Yankees like super casually with like other people in my dorm, and that's it.
That's fair. All right. So basically, what you're saying, Aaron Hicks is gonna win the Triple Crown this year. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
God, that would be the most hilarious thing ever. But so yeah, I think that's it for today. Pretty much, I just want to give out some New Year's resolutions. May the Knicks just stop being the fucking Knicks, man. Like that's like I hate the Lowell Knicks narrative, but at least like with the Lowell Mets narrative, you could blame it on the owners. Lowell Knicks is just top to bottom, just everything with this organization. It's just, come on, man. The more we change, the more we stay the same. Rangers need to fire Gallant, and just from that, besides that, I hope love and prosperity, riches for everybody who's listened to this podcast this year. You know, we just started out, it's about 4 months ago. Yeah, I think this is our 4-month anniversary, if it's, episode 16. So, you know, over the past 4 months, you guys have really supported us, and, thank you so much for, tuning in, guys. Thank you to all the co-hosts, if you're not here with us right now. Miles, Ethan, X, Harry.
Pray for Miles and X, by the way.
Pray for Miles and X. But, yeah, thank you so much who's watched, contributed, done anything, giving me ideas. And, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for helping me make this dream come true. And we look forward to improving and keep giving you guys content for months and years and shit to come. So yeah, any parting words for 2022, folks? Because this will be uploaded on New Year's Eve.
You could go.
Oh, I was gonna say, ultimately, if you're listening to this, I imagine that you're also someone who's gone through the ups and downs with sports for the last few years. Yeah. Whether it's the uncertainty of not having fucking sports around, or just everything that's gone on with. If you're a fan of any team, you've definitely been driven insane over the last year. And I think we can all share, the lovely but painful feeling of going mentally insane over your favorite sports teams, which is what ultimately unites us, which is great. I think I'm going to definitely look forward to next year when, I get to watch the Knicks continue to drive me insane, or the Giants, when they lose in the playoffs, it'll kill me, or the Islanders continuing to be mediocre, or the Yankees getting pitched by the Astros in a way that'll make me want to kill myself. But, ultimately, it's really nice to know that we all have a community with sports that, we can keep building towards in 2023, because, this is kind of our lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Josh and Maddie, any parting words?
I just want to say thank God for sports, because this thing is driving me insane, but I love it.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. I haven't done a podcast in a really long time, so I was admittedly pretty nervous to be talking. But it's been a really fun week for me, a really rewarding week. To whoever's listening, I was sent by K's journalism school to cover the Liberty Bowl, and even though the Jayhawks lost, it was a great experience, and it was one of the weeks where I was like, I love sports. This is what I want to do. I literally watched K lose, but I was right behind the end zone on the field when it happened, and so getting that opportunity and then actually getting to be out there and doing it, I'm like, this is what I love. I just love talking about this stuff, and yeah, I'm really glad sports has been such an outlet for me. And then if you guys are ever interested in reading about KU football, let me know. And I can
Shameless,
send you my
shameless
stuff.
self-plug. Like
We should
always,
plug
all
our
of our
stuff.
social medias will be down in the bio. Maddie has a
Yes,
bunch
sir.
of great content up. I'm starting to upload more on Medium. I'll throw that down below. But
I
yeah,
need to upload my stuff.
exactly.
I
Man.
haven't
And
written
Ryan has
anything.
been. I think Ryan has the most content on all Instagram, YouTube, out of all of us. Ryan is a
I
Oh,
also
yeah,
probably
sure.
have the least amount of IRL friends, so there's a correlation
God.
there.
Ryan
I-
is the biggest grinder I know. But yeah,
I'm just
Oh.
a lazy fuck.
I love you guys, and have a great 2023. Cheers.